next standard review is going to be another board game.
It's supposed to be in post.
This is from Thames Kosmos Games. This is Tumult Royale. See, we've been playing a lot of board games lately. I love it.
I forgot what it was called. And I was like, I never played that game. Oh, now looking at the pictures in the back, I'm like,
Yeah, we played this one.
Okay, so this is Tumult Royale. This is a game that's played between
so hard at this game.
2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, and it takes probably about half an hour to an hour to play, depending on if you're explaining it for the first time or if you know what you're doing. So I would say the first time, it probably took us about an hour to explain it and play it, but after that, it'd probably be like half an hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in this game, and we've talked about it before, because Thames Kosmos actually gave out a copy of this to Family and Games. They want a copy of this. So essentially what it is you are all royalty. You're either a king, queen, princess, prince, all those different royalty. Duke.
Kick-ass Duke.
So in this game, you are royalty, and what you're trying to do, the first person to place 25 of their statues among the land will be the winner. That's one of the things that I love about this game, is that it is incredibly funny. I have a good time. I think the humor in it, the flavor text of it is very funny. So as part of building your statues, what you need to do is you need to tax your loyal subjects, the peasants of the land, to get resources to build your statues. You have bread to feed your sculptors, you have marble, and you have tools. Those are the 3 things that you need. And part of this game is there's kind of a 7-step process of getting
7 easy steps.
Yeah, that was the best part. In the instructions, it's like 7 easy steps. But essentially, this game has a lot of things in it. It has area control. It has, to be honest, the closest thing I can think of is Hungry Hippos.
It is.
Yeah, I can't think of any game that's like that.
Yeah, so it has a Hungry Hippo. So stick around. I'll tell you what that is. And then there's also a kind of a placing where you want to be, whether you want to be first at the end of this round, or whether you want to be last, or whether you want to. There's some jockeying for position.
Pros and cons to being the king, which goes first, but you get taxed at the end or something like that, right?
Yeah.
If you're the leader, it ends up putting you behind a little bit. You kind of want to be
a little
second
bit
all
right.
the time.
So the first part of the game is you have to. There's this little spinner, and you flick it, and it basically says how many of the resources. There's going to be a pool of resources that everybody at the same time for 20 seconds is going to be grabbing, and they're all face down, so you don't know which of the marble, bread, or tools are in the middle of the table. They're on tiles, really nice tiles. And what everyone's going to be doing is, in 20 seconds, flipping them over one at a time. They can only pick up one at a time, and see if they want to keep that. If they want to keep it, they put it in their little space in front of them, and you keep going back. Here's the trick. That spinner that you flicked at the beginning of the round says 2, 3, 4, or 5. And what that says is that for each one of those types of items, bread, marble, and tools, that many have to be left in the middle pot for the people, meaning you don't tax your people to the point where they don't have anything. Otherwise, if you do, a tumult or a riot happens. And then what happens is you look at who took the most. Who was the greediest of us all, of the royalty? Who took the most bread? Who took the most marble? And who took the most tools? Whoever took the most suffers a dramatic penalty. They have to get rid of they only get to keep their lowest of that particular resource. So it's one of those things where it's like, it reminds me of, I'm trying to think. Like Sim City is kind of it. You want to push to the point where you want to bend, not break.
Tax your people just enough where they won't riot and stuff. And
right. So that's the Hungry Hippos, because you're all going for these at the same time.
Which is super, super fun.
Yeah, that part of the game is super, super fun. But then what happens? You take whatever resources after you resolve any riots or tumults, and then it goes from royalty, king, queen first, then duke, duchess, or whatever the order is, and then you build. And there's this part of you place your statues on this other map, and there's some area control because you can only build statues next to other statues that you've already built. So there's kind of this risk area control aspect of how you build your statues and where you start and where you continue to expand.
Different tiles cost more than other tiles. So, yeah.
And you need certain things to build into certain areas. I think you need more tools for this area versus more
marble.
Clay. You can't do anything without the marble, which I found out after round 2. I was like, oh, I didn't grab any marble. Oops.
And you can block people out because, again, remember, you can only build adjacent to what you've currently built. You can pay a lot extra and sometimes build far away from where you're at, but it costs you a lot more resources.
It's double.
And
that was my problem. You guys boxed me in.
Yeah, I boxed Gerald in first thing. That was my first thing I did.
The best thing about this game is that it tries to prevent the runaway winner. A lot of board games, unfortunately, we play. Sometimes the dice don't roll your way and you've lost. And you've lost from turn 4 and it's like, okay, are we literally going to play this out, or are we just going to, okay, all right, I guess we'll keep playing. I mean, I know I'm going to lose, but whatever. This game has and the negative word is a rubber banding effect. It tries to keep the person who's in last gets some benefits. Like, for instance, if you have the least amount of statues out in the land, if you've placed the least amount of statues, you get a benefit the next turn of the people show you mercy if you're the most greediest person or something like that. So it has a good effect of keeping the game close. I think every single game that we played was probably within maybe 3 to 4 statues of the winner.
And there's a mercy rule.
Right.
As like you halfway through the game,
go through the rounds at a certain point.
If someone's so far ahead.
If there's somebody, there's like a gap, and the gap shrinks every round if you're too far ahead, which is one of the things I don't love about the game.
I actually like that because, again, that prevents that mercy rule. I mean, it's one of those things, I guess, and it's just, if you play the game so poorly, it's like, well, there's no chance you could win. Let's just end it.
Like I did.
Right. But okay, but it's between the first and the last, which is the first, and there's 4 players, which is what we played. There's first and fourth. Well, it may not be such a vast difference between 1, 2, and 3. And to end the game based on the person who's doing the worst, you
are the weakest link.
To me, it ends it too early. Again,
Jordan wants games that last like 8 hours.
Well, again, it's the strategy thing. I know how to strategize if I know when the game's going to end. But if I don't know when Gerald's going to suck it up and lose it for everybody,
thanks, dude.
Then it's hard for me to strategize to make that best move.
Yeah, why would you let that last person suffer through the other 2 hours?
That's my point.
No
because
there's not 2 hours, but I know what you mean.
Learn to get better. I don't know. I'm just saying the front runners. Okay, I think it should be between first and second. I like the mercy rule. I just don't think it should be between first and last. It should be
the gap between the highest and the second
highest. Because let them keep playing for first. Don't let them keep playing for second.
Yeah,
now,
true,
it wasn't a big enough deal to break
we went
it.
to the.
I think
we went to the
game.
second to last round is what we actually played.
Exactly. So it didn't matter. It was still really fun.
I do want to say something real quick. Oh, actually, let's just. I think we've talked about enough about how to play the game. Let's do our review. So again, thumbs up, good. Thumbs down, bad, and in the middle is okay. 1, 2, 3.
Boom. 3 ups.
Wow.
No, it was a really great game.
3 thumbs up. That's a big deal. Okay, now, first thing, let's go reverse of what we did when we reviewed the last one. Start with you, Jordan. What was your...
Yeah, so the game, it has a lot of different parts. The flipping of the tiles was a lot of fun.
The hungry hippos.
It's really a fun time. I don't know why that is like this inner childhood thing.
Well,
it was my favorite part of the game because there's no other game like that.
No, there's not, and it's very interactive. You're literally like chasing and going for every single one. There's a ton of strategy with what you need, because each tile, like, it's not just one wood or one tool or one bread. There's some tiles have 2 bread, some tiles have 3, and you don't want to grab too much, but you want to get
what you need, obviously.
What you need, right?
And here's a
ton of strategy involved, and I really, really enjoyed that. And then
the tiles are always switching too, because you take out like 3, 6, 9, like 12 tiles at the beginning.
Right.
So tiles are always switching, so you don't know what's going to be there.
Right. Yeah. It's a super good game, and even though I didn't win, I still think it's a thumbs up.
That's good.
I wouldn't mind playing it right now.
I did the worst. Yeah. I thought it was thumbs up.
Yeah, though I think they should rethink the first and fourth player thing.
Jordan always thinks he... Anyways.
Gerald, what's up?
Pretty much for the same reason. Like I said, the Hungry Hippo mechanic, there's no other game that's like that. So that's just like on it. It's super fun.
Yeah.
It's stressful. You're like, get your hand away. And I'll be in the last place almost the entire game. I got that. They favor you kind of. The mercy rule still didn't help me. Because I wasn't the greedy person. I don't know. I still had a lot of fun, even though I sucked at the game. So I'll definitely want to play again.
Yeah.
To see if I can get better. But yeah, it's great.
Okay, for me, I love this game for multiple reasons. There's a couple. I have 2 criticisms. First criticism: there's an hourglass in this game that does 20 seconds for when everyone's flipping over tiles. And it's supposed to say when the hourglass runs out, that's when 20 seconds runs out and you're supposed to stop. That doesn't work because everyone's trying to flip. No one's paying attention to the hourglass. So the easy fix is everyone has a smartphone at this point. Just set an alarm for 20 seconds and then
they should just include an iPhone with every game.
This board game is $700.
Yeah, easy fix. Come on.
You know what I noticed though?
Come on, Cosmos.
It barely mattered.
It did
most of the time we've all looked at every tile before the 20
I don't know. There were some times where you're like, come on.
But that's the part I love about the game. Okay, so for instance, let's say there's a grouping of tiles. Everyone takes it and there's still like 5 seconds left and everyone's like, ugh. I can actually take one tile to screw you over because if you're still the most and I take the second most, that's the best place. So when we were playing this game, you can actually... you obviously don't know what the other person picked because they always, when they take it, they put it face down. But I played this 2-player with me and my wife, and it was definitely like, I can take this tile and gamble that I think she took more than me. which happens. That doesn't really happen so much in the 4-player game, but in the 2-player game, you can kind of start to figure out like, I think there's probably enough. I think she took more than me. If I took only 2, I'm sure she took 3. Or if I only take 1, she probably took 2, and there's none left.
The amount of tiles changed, I'm assuming, with less people. Yeah.
That's another part that I love about this game. It's modular. So
scales,
so part of the 2-player game, there's the main board that you play with where you put statues down. It actually gets it has larger,
like
more
4x2 at its largest, right?
Yeah, and then when it's smallest, it's a 2x2. So it's modular, and also you remove certain goods, so it fits the amount of goods ratio meets the amount of players. That's so smart. So many games are just printed, and then it's like really.
You gotta have 6 players to get the best experience. This is like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this one you can play 2 and you can play 4. Now, this is made by the same developer or same designer that made Settlers of Catan, which I think you both love.
Love
really?
Settlers of Catan.
Oh, wow.
Well, that makes sense why it's such a great game.
Klaus Teuber.
Little people almost look the same.
Yeah, him and his son both designed this game, and he's made a number of games, but I think this is by far the most fun I've had, and it's the most unique game in a long time. That Hungry Hippos. Yeah, I mean, I know that's a weird description, but it's literally the only thing.
How it feels.
That's exactly how it feels. You're trying to grab things quickly and look, and you can only look at one, and you're like, do I want it? Do I want it? No. Okay. Do I want the next one? No, I don't want it. Okay, I want that one.
You can only use one hand, and you can't have it over the table before the 20 seconds starts. There's like, it's really fun.
And you never, in a lot of Euro games, because this has a little bit of a Euro game to it, sometimes like, for instance, Caverna, you never really know until the very end of the game where you sit. This game kind of has, like, you kind of know if you're doing well or poorly in Gerald's case, unfortunately, in this particular instance when we played it a couple times. But I love the components. I love the artwork. I love the theme of the game fits well. I love the idea that
really
you're
hard cards and the little pieces are wood and everything looks great.
Yeah, so I absolutely adore this game. It's definitely gonna, it might even go up on the wall.
Oh, snap.
Holy smokes.
I think it's all 3 thumbs.
It gets 3 thumbs up. You know what? That's what we should do. If it's 3 thumbs up, it's on the wall. Okay.
We need to clear your wall out and start over.
Hold on. We might.
Maybe they just get in the middle.
Yeah, we'll put it up. Okay, so Tumult Royale will be on the board. I'm gonna have to get a bigger wall.
Even the castle's fun. There's like little cardboard
player
castle
board?
that your player, what color you are. It's cool.
Yeah, and like the little statues have a little spot. Everything makes sense in this game. It's so much fun. I can't tell you how much I love this game. So that's Tumult Royale, gets 3 thumbs up from the standard review.
Coveted 3 thumbs up.
Yeah, so great job.
I think only the Codenames is the only one that got the 3 thumbs up. Those are some awesome games.
All right, so that's Tumult Royale.